welcome back to The Give and Go. I'm your co-host Reynoso, here with my boy
Soltero. What's up, guys?
Thumbs up on the stream right now if you love Shaqiri. If you love seeing Shaqiri score bangers, give me a thumbs up on the stream right now. Let's get some more people into this chat. 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you're listening to us on our audio platforms. And remember, folks, we will be covering both the Euros, the Copa America, as well as the OFC Nations Cup. So stay in touch with us. The Give and Go is going crazy this summer, and it starts with the Euros. And it starts with today with what? Match day 6, 7 at this point?
Sure.
The official start of round 2 in the Euros. And bro, let's talk about Scotland versus I'm going blank here.
Switzerland.
Yeah. Scotland versus Switzerland with Shaqiri magic.
Dude, what? Let's just start with that goal. It ended up equalizing the game 1-1 at the time. But what a curler. My God, the ball takes a beautiful trajectory. It bends around the post and sneaks in right at the last second. But who else, man? Who else has the technique? Who else shows up in these big moments for Switzerland? It's none other than Xherdan Shaqiri. A crazy stat that I heard during the commentary of the game. He is the only active European player to have scored in the last 3 World Cups and 3 Euros.
I had to read that again, bro. That's crazy. That means that he scored a goal in every single major tournament since the 2014 World Cup.
Amazing.
It's amazing. That is amazing, dude. And like the fact that the way he found the goal today was in a moment of shock where I don't know who it was for Scotland that gave the ball away so embarrassingly, honestly. Gives him just a window, a small gap still from outside the box, asking them to do so much. And just that Shaqiri class, man, that Shaqiri class showed itself once again. And what gets me is that he isn't playing at this level, honestly, in the MLS this season. He hasn't been that impressive, and he's slowed down a bit. But he's one of those players like the Guillermo Ochoa outfield version who shows up no matter how he's doing with his club. He shows up for his international team and balls out. It was so nice. So nice to see him get a goal today.
Dude, so true, because honestly, I only ever really see Shaqiri at major tournaments.
Yeah.
But every time, he shows the fuck out. Every single time.
And if you only watch major tournaments, this dude's your fucking god. Yeah. He's Messi, man. He's incredible. Oh, my God.
And a quick shout out to the Chicago Fire and the MLS in general. First MLS player to score in the Euros. MLS, baby, let's go.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's also a crazy stat today. So that goal meant a lot to Shaqiri, to Switzerland, and to this game because it ended up leveling this match after Scott McTominay got a goal off a deflection from Fabian Schär, which ultimately I would consider a massive mistake, man. He should have let that ball go. Jan Sommer had his eyes set on it. He gets in the way. It's an own goal. And scenes for Scotland as they grab the lead in this tournament.
Yeah, it was honestly a really bad mistake. And if you consider how this game ended, it was the difference. And it's the goal that keeps Scotland alive, because now Scotland will be able to play against a pretty disheartened Hungary in this last match day, which will happen in a couple days. Scotland are alive. They'll need a win, but that big deflection goal is keeping Scotland alive. But just what a mistake by Schär, though. Like, it was clearly going to Jan Sommer's paws. There was no need to reach and stretch for that ball. It was a horrendous deflection.
It was awful, dude. And the number of goals that we've seen now in the Euros, 5 own goals so far. That's 3 ahead of the leading goal scorer in this tournament, Jamal Musiala, with 2 so far. So own goals have been making an appearance like crazy, and we've seen some wacky own goals, man. Some really interesting deflections or decisions from defenders resulting in the ball hitting the back of the net at their own demise. What did you guys think about the own goal, about Shaqiri, and about this match? Because going into the second half, Scotland basically took over, man, at least possession-wise, and looked as confident as we've seen them this entire tournament.
Yeah, all things considered, this was a great response to the Germany loss for Scotland. And especially in that second half where they started to find more joy when they would cross the ball into the box. They committed a lot more men going forward, and Switzerland at times got very stretched, and it took some incredible last-ditch defending to keep Scotland at bay. There was that crazy McTominay volley where, I mean, his foot was basically at head height. He connected so well with it, but there was a Swiss defender, or the Yeah, there's a Swiss defender right in the way. And then another moment where the ball was getting crossed in off of a header, and it was Manuel Akanji who reads it the entire way and clears it very comfortably. So at the end of the day, the Swiss defense did a phenomenal job to keep this game 1-1.
No, absolutely. That Akanji deflection was unreal, because it was so close to being a goal off of that Andy Robertson header. I am seeing in the chat, because looking at that Scott McTominay goal, it was awarded towards Scott McTominay.
At the very end of the game, it was awarded to him.
Yeah, but what do you think about that? Because honestly, watching this back, like, dude, that was going straight to Jan Sommer. I understand how technically it is his goal because it was on target. That's the biggest factor. But I think Fabian Schär was the full culprit here for why that ball hit the back of the net.
Yeah, this is Schär's goal, but textbook-wise, it's McTominay's.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, absolutely. So I agree with what the chat's saying. It's just one of the more wacky goals we've seen this tournament. But it ends 1-1, and you're right. It keeps it open now for Scotland and Hungary, which will be that last fixture. And thank God, because Hungary, coming off of a 2-0 loss against Germany, ultimately, do you mind if we shift on over to this game?
No, let's go ahead.
Ultimately, a game that I left pretty proud of Hungary and how they played, honestly. Happy with this Hungarian team after all the support I've shown them. I'm just like the coach. I revoked my citizenship. I became Hungarian going into this tournament, and I've left it a little disappointed because 2 straight losses and a tournament where I thought Hungary would be much more impactful has disappointed me a little bit. But the performance today against Germany, I thought was much, much better in comparison to what we saw versus Switzerland.
Yeah, they had, all things considered for Hungary, they had a much better game. They were terrible against Switzerland. They got dominated by the Swiss in their opening match. But today they were good. You know, they actually threatened Germany at times, and they had several spells of really good possession in both halves. But I just want to go on the record book and say this. Let it be known, this Hungarian team peaked in 2023.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's done. We got bamboozled. They are in a decline that's worse than the Argentine peso. It's not working for Hungary right now. It's not working, bro. Because ultimately, Germany, I think if they were really on it, could have scored 3-4. You know, they could have really balled out. Hungary, again, yes, they had a better game, but this is nowhere near the level that we saw them reach a year ago. And I'm just overall disappointed.
Christopher Molina saying here that he had them getting 4th in his predictions, and that actually reminds me of myself, because to remind you guys, I had Hungary topping this group, finishing in first, and that's why I've left us so disappointed. That's why I'm so hurt, honestly, because I thought I envisioned something much better for this Hungarian team, and now, because the prediction was so wrong, I need to be punished, bro. I need to be punished. And by the sheer nature of this team being called Hungary, I think the punishment should be that I starve myself.
I like that. Okay.
And it gets decided depending, the amount of days I starve for is the place that Hungary ends up in.
I like that.
If they get 3rd, I starve myself for 3 full days.
What about one day?
If they get 4th, I'm not making it, bro.
Let's say third is 1 day. 4th is 2 days. That seems like a good punishment.
Bro, I'm not actually considering this, bro. That's crazy. That's nonsense. That's where I draw the line. That has to be where we draw the line for our punishments. That has to be it. It's starvation.
Yeah,
bro.
No, water. You can drink water, just like Molina's saying. You can do a water fast.
Oh, God. We can figure out a system. Yeah, maybe a meal system, or maybe, I don't know. We can figure something out. We'll talk off camera. But for now, I was thinking 3 days, bro. I was like, God, I can't do that.
Don't do that.
I can't do this shit. But it's just indicative of what I saw for this Hungarian side. And honestly, man, I knew Germany was capable of being this. Actually, I'm going to take that back. I was questionable going to this tournament if they could reach this height. I knew it was there if they wanted it, but I just didn't know if they could reach it. Bro, it's confirmed for me now. After seeing them today, 2 straight performances in a row, Germany looks like the favorite, in my opinion, for the Euros.
Yes, that's my takeaway too. This German side is in rare form. I truly think the only way this team loses in this tournament is if they go in the shootout. Because realistically, they have, I think, the most fluid offense in this tournament. I mean, Gundogan popped up several times, pretty much just all around the box, and he has the ability to just find that perfect pass. And we saw the goal that he got today. It was just a gorgeous finish off of a brilliant move that started with Jamal Musiala and then ended with Mittelstadt getting a really nice cross into Gundogan. But that's the type of skill level that this German team possesses. Everybody is playing at their best right now. And when this German team is running the way that they're operating right now, I just don't really see a team stopping them, bro. I really don't.
Yeah, Nagelsmann has done an incredible job so far. I didn't know this. The youngest coach to ever coach in the Euros in their history. He is doing an amazing job with the pressure on his shoulders to deliver with this German team. He has done incredible. Guys, let me know, what do you think about this German side? Do you see them as the favorites for the Euros, or are there other teams that you think will build some momentum going into these later matches? But for now, I'm so high on this German team because they look so dangerous, bro. Yeah. If it's not Musiala cooking you, it's Florian Wirtz doing something clever. If it's not Florian Wirtz, then it's Kroos sending in a beautiful ball, or Gundogan sneaking into the box and scoring a goal. I think the only place where I could see an upgrade personally is up front with Kai Havertz. And I honestly think that Nagelsmann should make the move to start Füllkrug instead, a more traditional 9, because with Havertz, we know what we're going to get, and we know his best things, his best strengths. And so I'm not too hard on him not having that final product. But for me, it's more so his involvement. I'm not seeing him as involved with the offense the way that prime Kai Havertz can be.
Yeah.
I think if you put in Füllkrug instead, he showed it in that Scotland match, scoring an absolute worldie of a goal. I think he would much better fit into his role as that number 9 up top. And I just think that'd be the last upgrade you can make for this team, to just completely shell it out, because what I've seen from Kai Havertz so far has been just a little disappointing.
He was quiet today for sure. And I thought he was brilliant against Scotland, though. So my opinion on this is I like Nagelsmann's 50-50 approach. He plays Havertz for a half, and then he brings on Füllkrug for the second half. And I'd be cool with a flip-flop. Maybe you start Füllkrug in the first half, and then you bring Kai Havertz on the 60th minute in the second half, maybe depending on the type of opponent you play. I just think Germany... Füllkrug isn't the best number 9, right, in the tournament, although he's in really good form right now. So when you consider Kai Havertz's ability to combine, I think that's why Nagelsmann is playing both guys right now, because they both are just really good with the style that they bring to the game. So I like that I like that he has them in rotation.
Yeah, I agree. I just think for the next match, at least at the match, it's done by now. But there was like a moment of combination where Kai Havertz had a wide open Gundogan in the box. All he had to do was touch it. It was a give and go play, and he just hit it a little bit too far. I wonder how Füllkrug would have done in that moment. I think I wonder what he's going to do in that big round of 16 matchup once the stage and the pressure is on him fully. Because we won't see it in the third matchup. They're qualified. They have advanced fully. So I think that's when we'll see it for Germany. But let's read some of these chats. What are you guys thinking? Bivart says, I need to see Germany play a big team to say if they can win. I can see that. I can definitely see that. Jadir Beltran says, Germany with the fans behind them could do anything.
I agree.
I agree, man. The fans just add another factor that I think makes them one of one. Jason 7480 says, it's Musiala's world. The rest of the guys just living in it. Completely agree with you, my friend. Completely. He's been balling out this entire tournament.
He looks so good.
Let's see what the super chats say. We have the Hitman, my boy, the Hitman, saying overrated teams are about to get grouped. I mean, that's the theme we're seeing with teams like Hungary, teams like Croatia, which we'll get into. I mean, there are some really notable teams that are potentially going to get grouped going into the third round of this tournament. Bivart says 10 pages as your punishment. Man, he sounds like he's it's reminding me of my past, bro. I used to go to confession. I would get a penance, man. 10 pages as your punishment. God damn it, man. Good Lord. I'm not writing again, dude. I'm not writing for the Hungarian team. The Hitman once again says Germany's defense has holes and can get exposed by a skilled team with dribblers and pace.
I actually agree to a certain extent there, because for me, the weakest point for Germany isn't necessarily the number 9 position. It's the right back for Joshua Kimmich. Not necessarily in the way that he approaches the game, but just defensively. I think if there's a really pacey winger on that right-hand side for Germany, Kimmich's going to struggle. He can do it, but he's going to get cooked a couple times. And, in a quarterfinal, semifinal stage, that might be the difference between winning and losing. So I think it would be a cause for concern for sure for Germany, but I really do think they make it up with their beautiful offense.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. So that's why I had them in my preview semifinal exit. I'm still going to go with that, but I'm saying now that they could definitely go farther than that. I'm sticking to my France prediction. Are you still sticking to your England prediction? Just to update the people on where we're at.
Absolutely. I have both England and Germany actually meeting in the final.
Perfect. All right, last game of the day, Albania versus Croatia. Chat, let us know what you thought about this match, because in terms of entertainment, I think this was the best game of the day so far, with a 2-2 draw and a game-tying goal happening in the 95th minute behind Jasula, the Albanian. Croatia coming back in this match, completely flipping the results. Seeing Silvino on the sideline losing his mind for 90 full minutes. It was a great game, a banger of a match, as Chris Vergara says. And honestly, both these teams leave with 1 point that I do think ultimately is deserved for both sides, but makes things very interesting going into that final round.
Yeah, bro. Somehow I wish we could track the heart rate of Albanians around the world, bro, because their last 2 games have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
They've been absolutely nuts. In both games, they get an early lead, and it's just pure ecstasy for Albanians everywhere. And in that stadium, the noise is ridiculous. But what a goal too. What a way to expose that Croatian defense to take the lead. And it was in a run of play where Croatia were trying to really go at Albania. And that's what I really liked about this game is overall in both halves, it got end to end. It was just ridiculously fast paced. It was so fun, so entertaining to see. And we got treated to 4 goals in total. This was easily the best match of the day.
Yeah, I like that aspect because we were watching together. I was like, bro, 1 more minute. At the very end, I was like, let's just do 1 more minute. Next goal wins type mentality. It really felt like that, the way it was so back and forth and exciting. People are saying that Albania in the first 20 minutes of matches are playing like prime Brazil, dude.
No, seriously.
They start off matches incredibly, man. It's just what happens the rest of the 70 minutes of the match is a different story, but their execution on their ideas right off the bat is really, really good. And it happened back-to-back games where they end up getting the lead to start the game. And then they lose it.
And then they lose it, bro. If you cut to the 80th minute and it truly looked like Albania were just going to lose this game. But somehow they garnered this mentality of, okay, we cannot lose here. The last 10 to 15 minutes for Albania, they turned it back on.
Yeah.
And it was actually Croatia who were on their back heels praying to not concede. And Albania eventually got a really nice goal, a low-driven cross, a beautiful first-time hit, and the game went 2-2. But honestly, in that moment, after kickoff, it looked like Albania might have gotten 3-2, bro. It really looked like they were going to completely flip it, maybe possibly getting the craziest result in Euro history, because it would have been 2-3 flips.
Yeah.
A scoreline in this game, it would have been absolutely insane. But nonetheless, this was a crazy result. There were some really good goals, but I think for both teams, there's like definite weaknesses that is going to make it very hard, I think, for both of these teams to get out of this group.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm seeing it a lot in the chat. People are being really hopeful, like that Albania, like I have Ochi here saying Albania should qualify, man. Like people want that for them, but I'm scared. I'm scared that this was already the peak of their tournaments.
Yeah, Clashfire here saying, wouldn't be surprised if both teams don't make it to the knockouts. And when you consider that Spain and Italy are here, and also that Albania only have 1 point, it's just tough. It's really tough because now Albania have to get a win. A draw ending with 2 points will not be enough, even if they finish in 3rd place.
Against what's most likely going to be the best team in the group in Spain.
That's the problem.
I don't see that happening.
That's the problem. And it sucks because
tough.
They've played so well in this tournament.
They played so well, and the same goes for Croatia because they're in a really tight situation now, man. Oh my God, they got to get a result against Italy in that final match to get through, hopefully in 3rd place or 2nd, depending on how that Spain-Italy match goes tomorrow. But for Croatia, maybe the people were right about them, bro, when they were talking about them either being a little washed or just their dynamicism being gone, or just comparing them to past generations that we've seen. I'd say now it's been 2 performances in a row where they've disappointed and not proven to be that same Croatian side that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, dude, I did not realize how poor their defensive midfield would be in this tournament. It became very clear that they had no coverage right in front of the back line, because once Albania got past the midfield, they were already in Croatia's box every single time. That's why this game was so end-to-end, because there was no box-to-box midfielder to destroy that play for Croatia. So Albania just had to get it over the midfield, and then they were finding a lot of space to exploit. And it makes sense, though, when you look at Croatia's midfield now. You have a really old Luka Modric who had a weird first half, but he did end up having a really good second half. That's why you do play him, because what he gives you offensively, but he's not going to cover a lot for you defensively. Then you have Mateo Kovacic, who's honestly just as offensive thinking as Luka Modric. He will track back, but you don't really play Kovacic for his defensive qualities. And then Brozovic ended up getting subbed off at halftime. You could say he was at fault for the first goal that they conceded, just kind of going to sleep, not tracking back. And those are the three guys that you're asking to provide coverage in the midfield defensively. It's not good. Once they brought on Sucic, it got a lot better for Croatia. So for Dali, I expect a lot of changes in this third game for them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I'm seeing in the chat, we got a back and forth between Romania and Belgium. We got Romania trash talk and Belgium trash talk. Look, I'm not sure what y'all are talking about, but all I'll say is this. That game's going to be really fun to see. Romania versus Belgium, because Romania is on fire right now, man. Yeah. They're on fire. And I'm interested to see how do they perform against not a top team in Belgium, but just a team of higher quality in Belgium that could spank you if they get on it, if they get that dynamic flow going, but also has that element of being frauds, of being nervous, of being disappointing and underwhelming in big matches.
It's set up for Romania to do exactly that, because the way Romania approached the game is very physical. And what better way to get players like Trossard and Doku out of a game than putting a body on them, right? If you really get in their heads and let them know very early on that they're not going to have any fun dribbling, then Belgium's offense is going to struggle. And if Romania can be as clinical as they were in that first game, hey, there's a chance Romania can pull something off. And I don't think it's a crazy chance either. It's very doable.
I wouldn't rule it out. That's all I'm going to say. I wouldn't rule out Romania getting a result, but of course, I also wouldn't rule out Belgium winning 2-0 and just waking up finally in this tournament. Guys, let's do the awards of the day. To start, we're going to do goal of the day. What did you guys have as the goal of the day? Because we had some bangers. We had Romania. Not Romania. I'm thinking about Romania. We had Shaqiri scoring a beautiful goal against Scotland. We had some nice moments in that Albania-Croatia match.
Some good. Kramaric had a really nice slot finish.
Yeah. I'm thinking if there's really Musiala's goal, Gundogan's goal.
Gundogan's goal was good too, but I just got to go Shaqiri, man.
I think it's clear today.
It just looked beautiful. It looked like an art piece. Like just the way that ball flew and bent right inside the post. It's just a gorgeous goal. I got to go Shaqiri.
I think we got to go Shaqiri. I think there's a clear gap between that and the second best goal of today. And it looks like the chat mainly agrees with a bunch of shouts for Shaqiri. Well done, then Shaqiri. We will award him the award the day we get to meet him, hopefully here in the MLS as he plays for the Chicago Fire. Maybe one day we can give him the Goal of the Day award. We'll see. But for now, Shaqiri wins it. Congratulations to him. Next award of the day is the performance of the day. Who was the best performer today? This one's interesting because I was talking to you. Yesterday was clearly guys like Arda Güler who could win it. And the day before that, I thought there was someone really notable. I'm already forgetting it, but it was clear. Today, it's much more muddy, and I want to know who the chat thinks was the best performer of the day. Is it Shaqiri getting the goal of the day and the performer of the day? Is it Musiala having another good performance for Germany? Gundogan? Who's it going to be that gets the performer of the day?
I know this is tough. We might have to leave this one to the chat on this one, because this was an interesting day as far as standout performers. The games were fantastic, but yeah, I agree. There isn't really one guy that just kind of took it. But I mean, there was still honestly, you could give it to any German player because Germany were pretty much perfect today.
I think that's what the chat's saying. We're going Musiala on this one.
Yeah, you could go Musiala, you could go Gundogan, you could go Toni Kroos again, honestly, because he was just as perfect in the midfield. You could give it to anybody. Neuer had actually two really good saves. So Germany were fantastic once again. I say give it to a German.
Fair play. We're gonna go Musiala. That's the easy one.
Let's do it.
Let's do Musiala. Musiala gets the performance of the day, and then the last award is game of the day. What do you guys have as the game of the day? Is it as simple as that Albania-Croatia shootout? Is it Germany dominating Hungary? Or is it Scotland getting a goal, having a really important moment in the Euros for themselves, going up against Switzerland and seeing Shaqiri score a beautiful goal once again? I think for me, it's pretty easily that Albania-Croatia game.
Oh, yeah, man. That game, just the end-to-end aspect of it just got me out of my seat. And the way it ended was so dramatic. This one's an easy one for me. It's definitely that match.
Yes, sir. Albania-Croatia was the funnest match. Absolutely agree with you guys. Let's look at some of these super chats, see what the folks are saying. Up top, we have Hasib Z701 saying, I think Switzerland could upset some teams, and I'm hoping Slovenia can make it into the round of 16. I agree with you on the Slovenia part, man. I'm hopeful for the Slovenian side, and I'm excited to see them tomorrow, I believe, facing off against Serbia. And as for Switzerland, do they have that capability of punching above their weight and upsetting a team after what we saw today against Scotland?
I think so. I mean, Switzerland proved that they could do exactly this and upset a lot of big teams 3 years ago at the Euros. I mean, they knocked out the reigning world champions at the time. We've seen Switzerland play already, and you consider the performance today. Yes, it ended 1-1, but Dan Ndoye had like 3 clear chances that he should have put away at least one of them. You consider that, I think Switzerland probably should have won this game. If they're a little bit more clinical, I think easily they could upset somebody in a round of 16, maybe even quarters.
They could. I'm hesitant to see if they actually do live up to that. That's my only thing with the Swiss team. Luis Melo says, how about 3 punches from producer Rudd as a punishment? Y'all always got these ideas, huh? Y'all always get so clever.
3 punches.
The chat always gets so clever when it comes to punishments for Reynoso. I swear, bro. They never show this creativity any other time of the day. When it comes to punishments, we got all these ideas. 10-page apology letter. Punches to my fucking stomach. Get it together, folks, man. I'm starving myself for that punishment, and I'm figuring that one out, all right?
Yeah.
Leave it at that. Good Lord, man. Y'all gonna make me die on this stream. Bvart says, are you guys going to Copa America games?
I think we're going to try to go to some of the knockout stage games.
Yes,
I think there'll be some in Houston that we're going to try to attend, and it'd be dope because it might be Mexico. Might be Mexico.
Especially those knockout games. Yeah. We're looking likely to go to some knockout games. So keep your eyes peeled for that, because we'll announce that, and we can for sure meet with you guys in the stadium and take a photo and just talk football for a little bit. Last super chat of the day is the Hitman saying Lukaku has 85 international goals and 115 appearances. Romania is going to get pounded. That must be the comment that started the war that we saw in the comments. That must be what started it, man. That must be what did it, because...
Or trying to end it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm just saying, Romania, Belgium is a lot closer than maybe it seems to the average eye. I think Romania can completely surprise a team like Belgium. And Lukaku, he's been a little off in these major tournaments. I want to see how he performs in his second game at the Euros. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, I think that's it. I mean, just to comment on that, though, it is true. Lukaku, I mean, that's an insane goal-scoring ratio at the international level. You can't sleep on that. Yes, it seems he might be a little bit cursed in the biggest stages. You know, he had a really weird World Cup a year and a half ago. He had a really weird opening game to this Euros. But if you consider how many goals he scored over his career in England and in Italy, this man knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. So if you're Romania, you just can't get cocky, because you give Lukaku space, he will finish.
And that's it for today, guys. We usually do match previews, but producer Rudd's got to head out early, so we're going to call it today. But we'll be back tomorrow with our first Euros and Copa America streams of the day, with Argentina facing off against Canada. Is it already out? What happened?
Oh, no, there's one last super chat.
Oh, what'd he say?
Okay, Jay Patel saying, late to the party, but wanted an opinion. City players aren't performing internationally because they used Pep system, Foden, KDB. Somebody aren't performing. Gvardiol.
The City players are playing weird so far.
Yeah, so far.
Playing weird so far.
I'm hoping Foden really picks it up in the next game tomorrow.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
It's a great point, and system versus being free in an international setting, that's a really fun argument to have.
It's a good conversation, and I think these City players are just having a little trouble adapting right off the bat. But I think with more games under their belts, they'll get better. I say that for every single City player that we've seen so far. So that's an interesting take, though. It's an interesting, keep an eye on that. And for now, we're signing off, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up on your way out. We'll catch you tomorrow for a banger set of streams.